Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. We got the Binance and the SEC deal. We'll talk about it. SBF's in the news. U.S. government, SBF, and Robinhood. Where the money at? SEC versus Ripple in a flurry of redactions. We're going to bring you up to speed. And how about this? U.S. dollar loses global reserve status. Say what? Bretton Woods collapse. Say what? The Fed and the Ripple connection. Makes sense to me. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content right now. $852 billion market cap for crypto. We're off by 0.7%. Good afternoon. Bitcoin, $16,839 and 65 cents. $1,250 and 84 cents for Ethereum. Tether market cap is $66.2 billion. And XRP is 33 cents. Watch it. We're going to watch it now. We're getting down to that level where if it breaks below that, we're going to go south for a minute. We got to keep an eye on it, they say. 4.6% off on the 7-day. If you haven't done it, gold is security and Glint, it's key. I'm telling you, I pound the ground on it. You guys know they're a sponsor, but you guys may not know that I was a customer first. I love using Glint. And yes, it is physical gold. It is held in a Brinks vault, and you get enough of it, you can have it shipped to you if you so desire. But the truth is I love having access to it in the manner that they provide through the app and through the MasterCard debit card. Check it out for yourself. Once you do, you're going to be glad you did. Make sure you check it out. Let's get started. Right here, Michael Branch tells us the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission is ramping up its war on crypto with the latest move to scupper a Binance buyout deal. And this is essentially based around the Voyager assets. And by the way, give Michael Branch a follow. But you know what? Let me just show you this really quickly here. It's basically saying here, according to the agency, the purchase agreement for the Voyager digital assets is insufficient. They need sufficient details about Binance's ability to close the transaction, the ability of Binance US to consummate a transaction of this magnitude, which debtors, value at $1.022 billion, including the nature of Binance US's business operations after the acquisition. Oh my. Listen, I hear John Deaton's voice in my head saying, the SEC is going to sue exchanges, right? Let's not forget about that. Yeah, we got to keep it in mind. Head on swivel, it's crypto, right? Deaton pointed out that SBF has lived extravagantly since his extradition from the Bahamas, adding that pleading not guilty has made matters worse for him. You know what? I tell you, it has been clear from the new CEO of FTX that what went on with SBF, according to the new CEO, John Ray, is absolutely criminal. So I hope that we see somebody held accountable. And speaking of held accountable, U.S. federal government may have already confiscated the $468 million worth of Robinhood tied to Sam Bankman-Fried. How about we get some of that converted so we could actually pay some of these customers back? I mean, how much money are the customers from FTX out? You know? I know that the company funds were spent, and we know that there was commingling into the customer funds. How much of the customer funds could actually be recovered and returned to them? That should be the key, right? So if the U.S. government has it, I hope that's the plan to do with it. Now, shout out to Jim Filan right here. There has been an update in a flurry of filings of redactions. I'm going to bring you up to speed very quickly right here. Attorney E. Scott, is it Sherrick, I believe it is, has filed his appearance on behalf of a non-party. That's one thing. It's not a redaction, but it's one thing to pay attention to. There are other redactions here, as this one is. Non-party D has filed a motion to redact portions of certain exhibits attached to the SEC's motion for summary judgment. And listen, you guys know I'm 12 years short of a law degree, but the reality is I think a lot of this stuff is sealing like personal information, emails, home addresses, names, things of that nature. MoneyGram has also filed a motion to seal certain portions of the party summary judgment materials. And also, Investor A requests 7 summary judgment exhibits comprised of research and investment analysis and identifying information for Investor A be sealed or partially redacted. And there was one more that we covered yesterday, which was the declarant, I believe, as well. So we covered that. So it's been 3 or 4 in that regard. So that's what we have on that. But let's keep moving because we got more to go here. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, or Medvedev, however you say it. I mean, I'm sure I'm train wrecking it. Forgive me. But he says here, digital fiat currencies will spread next year while the U.S. dollar will be losing its status of the global reserve currency, according to Russia's former head of state. Look, we did cover his comment right after New Year's that he had made here, and this is really based off of those remarks, but he's not backing off. And I just want to touch on this quickly to say that there's going to be a conversation with myself and Molly Elmore where we talk about the idea that I truly believe, and I shared this with Molly after she had asked the question, I shared the idea that I believe we're witnessing the disassembling of the petrodollar. And I believe we've seen enough evidence that the early beginnings of that are taking place. Now, there's a lot of confidence that elevates the global reserve status of the U.S. dollar from the petrodollar. The use of oil being the use of U.S. dollars being bought and sold in oil by all the foreign entities that sell oil, like over in OPEC in the Middle East, right? The reality here is, for me, is that something has to continue to elevate the status of a U.S. dollar, especially if we're going to move to a CBDC system, or even possibly the repatriation of a new U.S. dollar and the collecting of the old dollar, the Federal Reserve note. That I don't think is off the table or too far-fetched to have a conversation about either. Now, I don't know that happens next year. I'm not suggesting that. But I do believe we are on a path of something very similar that rhymes with all of this. And if that is the case, then I really do believe that XRP and the XRP ledger will be the new commodity, providing the water for the world's financial system in payments and settlement, and the movement and settlement of value. And remember, the XRP ledger is not just a payment rail, it is a decentralized ledger for the world. I think that's something that sometimes, we say things so casually that we kind of forget the enormity of what the XRP ledger's function actually is. And here is a pretty powerful remark that was from a while ago here, but it's Lael Brainerd from the Federal Reserve being asked about Ripple. Take a listen.
You mentioned the speed of cross-border payments and the opaqueness of that process, and I guess it's also error-prone to some extent with SWIFT. Santander seems to be trying to approach it with a partnership with Ripple. Just curious what your thoughts are on that.
So I do think that of the use cases out there, cross-border is one of the most compelling. We know that.
So immediately, nobody say anything about cross-border. He's talking about Santander and Ripple, and she knows exactly where this conversation's going. That there is key. Nobody had. She didn't lean into the mic and go, "I'm sorry. What is Ripple?" Right? No. She knew exactly where to go with this conversation about cross-border. Keep listening. Intermediation
chains, cross-border, are long and quite opaque, and they're slow, and they can be quite costly. So my sense is that technology with appropriate safeguards could make a material impact and likely will. And it may well be through a partnership model. I don't want to pronounce on any particular approach, but there are a variety of partnerships out there that are trying to innovate and to reduce frictions and increase transparency for those cross-border transactions. In my sense, I'm fairly optimistic that there are some good solutions out there that don't necessitate a global stablecoin.
Well, how about that? Now that's interesting. Well, then what would XRP be in Lael Brainard's mind then? Oh, this conversation gets even better. This is a reminder right here that Ripple is in bed with the Fed. The Faster Payments Council is from the Fed. So this conversation, however long ago, it doesn't matter. The conversation's real. Because this is recent. Within the last year or so, right? Ripple, in fact, is working with the U.S. Faster Payments Council. All of this is so interesting to me, I tell you, as we go down this road, and as we make our way to the end of this case at some point, and if it stops there, who knows? Nobody knows. But what I do know is at this point, this case is about clarity for Ripple. It's about clarity for XRP and the XRP ledger, and exactly how an entity like the Faster Payments Council and the Federal Reserve might be able to use it. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Before I get out of here, it is tax time, ladies and gentlemen. CoinTracker is one of the best ways on the planet to be able to track your portfolio and pay attention to what's going on to all your holdings on all your exchanges. Plug into it, get a feed every day, be able to download very easily your records and transactions to make sure you're reporting all of your crypto transactions properly for your taxes. Don't mess around. Don't take chances. Make sure you download CoinTracker. Get an exclusive 10% off on it when you click the link below. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch all of you on the next one.